On the left, we have Taco Pirata from Laredo, Texas. On the right, we have Monterrey, Mexico style with just cheese, fajitas, and avocado. Which one is gonna win the bite today? Welcome to Arnie's Cafe and Grill. Today, we're making Tacos Pirata. So what is a Tacos Pirata? Today we're gonna go over that and I'm gonna share with you guys what a Tacos Pirata is here in South Texas, in the region that I'm from. Also, we're gonna share with you some of the most common Taco Piratas in northern Mexico. So this is the menu from my restaurant I used to have many years ago. Taco Pirata plate at Arnie's Cafe and Grill was 2 tacos in a flour tortilla with fajitas, bacon, and cheese. And we also had rice and beans on the side. But the tacos themselves were bacon, beans, and fajitas. I didn't even ever remember that I had Tacos Pirata on this menu. So in my head, I'm going like bacon with beef, you know, in a taco. It almost reminds me of an alambre, which has a couple of more ingredients, but that's generally when you see bacon and beef together in most cases. So being that I'm not the expert on Tacos Pirata, I'm gonna call a couple of friends that I think are experts in tacos and see what they tell me about Tacos Pirata. But I wanna take a moment to talk a little bit about today's sponsor, Maiden. Maiden designs professional quality products for the home cook, and their kitchenware is used in multiple 3 Michelin stars restaurants. And their products are used in over 2,000 top-rated restaurants and hotel groups across America with over 100,000 5-star reviews from both the press and the customers. Now today I'm using the Maiden Griddle right here under my patio. But check this out. This griddle is so versatile, it can also cook directly over open fire because it's heat safe up to 1200 degrees. So you can use the griddle inside or over the stove or outside on the fire. Either way, it gets the job done. The Maiden carbon steel griddle also has a big cooking surface that can get hot. This is perfect for those crispy smash burger patties or that perfect sear on your fajita. And while packing that heat for a sear, it also is versatile enough to cook up breakfast like pancake and eggs. That's in part because the griddle also comes pre-seasoned and is naturally non-stick. So right out of the box, it's ready to get fired up and start cooking amazing food. So basically, the Maiden Griddle is one great cooking surface with all the versatility to cook any food you're craving. Y'all can check out the carbon steel griddle and Maiden's other cookware by using the link in my description. Calling my friend Jose Ralat. Let's see if he answers.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is
Strike
not
one.
available.
Hey Jose, it's Arnie. I had a question for you. If you got 2 minutes, give me a call, please. Thanks. All right, let's try another friend of mine, Rod Bravo, Rodrigo Bravo, another taco expert.
Hello.
Hey Rod, it's Arnie. What's cooking?
Arnie, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey man, we're making a video on Tacos Piratas. You know, I cook a mean taco of any kind, but I'm not an expert on Tacos Pirata. So I was wondering maybe you could give us a little insight there.
Do you have Jose's number?
Yes, I do, but he didn't answer, so you were my next call.
Oh, okay. Well, the beef was really, the main part, right?
Okay.
The fajita, if you will.
Okay.
And then with the cheese. And what's funny is you mentioned it, Jose and I had this discussion a long time ago. I asked him, I was like, so where does piratas come from?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know? He goes, no, like nobody knows. Like the etymology, nobody knows where the name pirata comes from. Now, piratas and gringas are often considered kind of like the stepchild of Mexican tacos because they're different. That's not the kind of the typical preparation. They're in Mexico. Obviously, I mean, I'm pretty sure you know they're from Monterrey. That's really where they kind of grew up and became very famous. And the beans is totally like not.
Yeah, traditionally it wasn't part of it, right? I think some of these things evolved based on what needs and what we have in our kitchen, whatever abuela or great grandma used to have in the kitchen available in a hungry family. Maybe they decided this is the way to do it, right? Because this is what we have. Or maybe a restaurant started doing it that way because that was what they had available. Who knows?
The other thing too is it adds more density to the taco.
Yes.
Like if you add the beans to it, so
Yeah.
it gives you a little bit more value without having to spend more on fajita or something.
Very true. That went Rod. Appreciate your help. Talk to you soon. Thank you.
Totally.
All right, let's call the Valley's expert on tacos,
¿Qué onda, Arnie?
Ismael Forkett. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good.
I'm recording a video on Tacos Pirata, and I couldn't think of hardly anybody else except you and 2 other friends that are more expert on Tacos Piratas than I am. And I pulled out my old menu from my restaurant. My Taco Pirata was fajitas, bacon, and cheese. Have you had them different, or is everybody more or less the same?
Basically just fajita or whatever, carne asada with beans and cheese. Not with bacon. Yeah, definitely not bacon.
Definitely not bacon. And most of the time, are they in flour or corn tortillas in your experience?
Yo he visto puro flour.
Mostly flour, okay. I know you were in California. Did you experience any over there?
No, I allá puro trompo.
Puro trompo. I heard their tortillas are the best over there. Is that true?
Carne.
Let's start a war.
You're not recording me, right?
Yeah, I am. All right, man. Thanks a lot, brother. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Hi, Arnie.
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Jose? Hey, I know you're on vacation. I won't take too much of your time. I was just curious what you knew about what actually goes in a quote-unquote authentic or close to authentic taco pirata.
It would just be beefsteak thin cut because it's going to be a tougher cut and you want it to be easily digestible and flavorful.
Do they always come with beans and cheese or how? I mean,
cheese only.
Just cheese and beef, huh?
Yeah, you could put slices of avocado in them. I've seen that done.
Yeah, I think that's the Monterrey style.
Yeah. So that's what I would do if you want to.
All right, thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Bye-bye. So today we're going to be slicing up our fajitas into little strips. It just makes it a little bit easier if you're in a home setting. Now in a restaurant setting, they will usually cook the whole slab and then slice it or dice it for tacos. This is flap meat, also known as flap steak, known as bavette. We love this cut here at our house because it's usually very marbled, as you can see here. It's also very tender. It's a steak. So as long as you cook it to a medium doneness, more or less, you will have a nice, juicy, and delicious bite. And here in South Texas, this is a very popular cut. It's generally called sirloin fajitas. So that's why you may hear me interchangeably using the word fajitas, because that's basically what they're called here in South Texas. You want something with a nice sharp tip so you can get up under the fat here like this. Generally, I take this kind of membrane off because it's very chewy and it won't render out on the griddle or on the barbecue grill either. When we had our restaurant, mostly we used the inside skirt because we were buying them from a purveyor and they were already pre-marinated. And that's pretty much what most restaurants are gonna have, is a pre-marinated inside skirt because it's the least expensive and the most profitable. But here in our home and in most homes, if you're gonna be selecting and buying the meat yourself for home use, you're probably gonna wanna get something like this. It's tender, it's juicy, and it's super delicious. And it's also less expensive than the outside skirt, which is a very, very tender fajita. So we're gonna cut this strip of meat. The grain runs like this. We're gonna cut it about 1.25 inches wide, about like so. And then we're gonna take these and we're gonna cut them about 1/4 inch thick. It can be 3/8. It doesn't have to be any exact size. You can cut them as thick or as thin as you like. I like to kind of mix them up a little chunky and a little long. It just kind of makes like a cool bite. Remember, they're gonna shrink down if you cook them for a while. They tend to puff up because of the moisture for a little while. And then as you cook them, they will shrink back down in most cases. So, all right, let's get onto our griddle and start cooking. Now, recently I made a big batch of ghee. I really love this. I used to use it a lot way back in the day. Ghee is butter that's been melted down and the milk solids are taken out. So all you have is basically oil. So our griddle is starting to get pretty hot. I'm gonna go ahead and add some fajitas on here. The other thing I'm doing today, I rinsed off a couple of jalapenos to make chile toreado. I'm gonna go ahead and roast and toast these two along with our fajitas. And I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 batches. You can see that our griddle is very hot now. You can hear that sizzle. Let me crank it up a little bit more because these fajitas came right out of the refrigerator. You want to stir them around a little bit, get some of that oil on them, coat them really good. Flip these over, flippity flip, flippity flip. Woohoo! Chile toreado. Chile toreado basically means you get the chile on the griddle or in a pan and you saute it a little bit with just a little bit of oil like we're doing here today. So you want to leave them on there and let some of that moisture evaporate and cook out. In the meantime, we're going to add a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic. The salt will also speed up some of that water coming out of the meat. So it'll evaporate a little bit quicker if you can get it out quicker. All right, I'm gonna leave my fajitas alone for just a little bit longer here. We want them to cook out. You can see all the water here on the griddle. That's pretty normal when you cook any kind of protein, particularly beef, in a pan or in a griddle. You're gonna get a lot of water coming out. It's totally different from cooking on a grill. If you're barbecuing, all that water drips into the charcoal, or if you're indirect, it drips into your grill. But when you're on a griddle or in a pan, all that water's there. So you gotta crank the heat up fairly high because you want that water to evaporate. And if you have it too low, then your meat's gonna cook okay, but it's gonna taste a little bit boiled. You really want it as hot as you possibly can stand it. If you get a little bit of this yummy stuff here on the bottom, you know, the fond, you wanna scrape that up, mix it in with your fajitas here. It really does add some good flavor. If you leave it on there too long, you might get a little bit of a burnt taste. The cold meat will also cool off your griddle or your pan, whatever you're using. So one of the techniques I like to employ is sliding it over, let it get hot again. In this case, we're gonna add a little more G over here and spread it around a little bit. And then we'll push our fajitas back one more time. You hear the sizzle? All right, you can see they're changing color a little bit. I'd say these are just about done. Yeah, that looks beautiful. Look at that chile. It's done. It's ready for a bite. Some of these fajitas, they're not all sliced exactly perfect. You guys will hear me say that over and over again. They don't have to be perfect. At the end of the day, you want to enjoy them. Some of these are almost kind of chunky. They could be called bistec in some places here in the valley. But this one's done. Let's go ahead and get this off the griddle. But as you can see, they're not all exactly sliced the way I finished slicing them when they were raw. You can slice them thinner or thicker, however you want, like I said before. Let's add the rest of these fajitas over here. Ooh, we smoking, baby. Okay, let's put a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic on here. Add that delicious flavor. I'd say these are about done. I like to get them right around medium well, and this is one of the ways I like to check. That's right about 145 degrees. They're done. Yep. All right, let's get these off the griddle and make some frijoles. A little bit of smashed beans, fried and refried. So one of the essential ingredients for tacos pirata, the way we know them here, is refried beans. So we're gonna go ahead and smash some beans on our griddle here, and we're gonna use those to slather our flour tortilla for tacos pirata. These are the beans that we make here at our house, our general all-purpose beans. They're gonna have pinto beans. We're gonna add a little bit of bacon. We generally run 2 strips of thick cut bacon, and we use about a quarter to a third of salt pork. It's kind of our all-purpose bean. Now, if we're gonna go party or go to an event, we're gonna make a different type of bean with a little extra stuff in it. Yeah, see how easy they slide? You gotta have that just the right amount of moisture and liquid. You want them a little creamy, just like this. You don't want them too dried out. You want them to be easy to slather onto the tortilla. And look how quick that turned out, just really quick and easy. And there you have it, my friends. Some beautiful Tex refried beans. We do have a full video on how to make these as well, by the way. Let's make our taco pirata. As far as I can tell, the original one came from Mexico, and it's just fajitas, cheese, and avocado on a flour tortilla. And then Taco Palenque from Laredo, Texas, popularized taco pirata. Their style is a double tortilla with beans and yellow cheese and lots of fajitas. But it's a double tortilla. That makes a big, hearty taco that'll fill you up. All right, let's do our Monterrey, Mexico style taco pirata first. I'm gonna keep flipping these so they don't toast on me. So basically, we're gonna have a tortilla, and we're gonna put a bunch of cheese on here. This is the white melting cheese. No beans on Monterrey style taco pirata. Just a lot of cheese. We are doing the Taco Palenque style on this side. Now this one, while the cheese melts there, we're gonna go ahead and slather a little bit of beans on here. Now notice, we do have the double tortilla. And so we're gonna get some yellow cheese. I don't have another tongue, so I'm gonna use my hand. Lots of cheese, plenty of beans, double tortilla, fajitas. What is not to love? We're gonna get our lid on here. We want our cheese to melt. It shouldn't take more than about 15 or 20 seconds with the lid on here. That should get our cheese nice and melted. All right, I think our cheese is just about all melted there. We are ready to go. Let's get some fajitas on here. Finish the job. And I like a hearty taco. Y'all know I like a big fat taco, so I'm gonna get plenty of meat on here. Now over here, Taco Palenque style is extra hearty because it has a double tortilla and some yellow cheddar style cheese. Now in Monterrey, they do avocado. So let's get some pretty avocado on here. Let me see in the comments below, which do you think is the best taco pirata? And how have you had them wherever you're from and in the different places you may have ordered a taco pirata before? First, I'm gonna take a bite of the original taco pirata, which is from Monterrey, Mexico. And this one right here. Oh man, this looks delicious. I'm gonna take a bite, a big bite of this one. Oh man. That's good. Delicious sirloin fajita. Soft, perfectly cooked. Got a little char on the outside. That salt, pepper, garlic really makes it taste amazing. The griddle did an amazing job. I do like the balance of the cheese with the beef and the flour tortillas and the avocado. Very simple, it's just 3 ingredients, and I really love this style of cheese a lot. All right, let's try the other taco, Taco Palenque style. Now, one technique that I've heard of, you can leave the second tortilla on the plate, so if anything falls out, you'll have a second taco. It also allowed the inside tortilla to remain nice and soft. The outside one got a little crunchy. I'm okay with both. All right, let's give this one a big old bite. Oh yeah, baby. That's good. nothing's falling out apparently because the cheese and the beans kind of glues it all together. I do gotta say, I love that one. I love this one too. They're both delicious, but that cheddar cheese brings a whole different flavor. I guess it's what I call the familiar flavor. It's something we're used to a lot. But then the beans ties it all together. You get that creaminess of the cheese, creaminess of the beans, and a little crunch and soft from the tortilla. Man, what's not to love? Now, when we were young, we were double fisting chelas. Now we're double fisting tacos. Cheers, my friends. Just kidding. Both of these tacos were amazing. They're both super delicious. I do love the simplicity of the Monterrey taco. Fajitas, cheese, avocado. What's not to love there? It's just wonderful. There was everything to love about this one too, because I grew up with cheddar cheese. I grew up with beans and flour tortillas. So this is Texas. This is Tex Mex, Texas style, whatever you want to call it. They're both super good. Don't forget, you can order my cookbook, Arnie Tex. Over 100 recipes of Mexican-American cooking. That's comida casera, homemade style, and Texas style barbecue. You can buy my book anywhere books are sold. Keep the smoke light and make it work. Boom! We got 2 tacos. It's a double boom. Boom! And a little baile. They're delicious.